Hello, students. Welcome back. Today, we are going to start with accounting for partnership firms. This particular topic consists of 30 marks, out of which the first chapter, that is fundamentals, carries 10 marks. And the bifurcation of this particular chapter is one practical question of 5 marks and one small practical question of 4 marks and one theory question carrying 1 mark. So altogether this particular chapter carries 10 marks weightage for the board exam. Let us learn the basics of partnership business. In the previous class we came across different forms of business and one was partnership. Partnership means any business carried on by more than one person, and the main reason for starting the partnership firm is to overcome the problems of sole proprietary form of business where the capital was limited, managerial ability was limited. So in order to overcome those drawbacks in sole proprietary form of business, partnership form of business started where more than one person entered into the business with capital. They had better knowledge, they had better expertise, better management skill, etc. So every partner, every member who becomes a partner, they work together, okay, and they share the profits and loss of a business. Now the definition of a partnership firm says, according to Partnership Act 1932, it says that partnership is a relation between persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. So here a particular word mentioned, carried on by all or any of them acting for all. That means either one person manages the business or all the partners together manages the business. So you have to particularly remember the Partnership Act. The Partnership Act 1932. First nature or feature of partnership, association of two or more persons. It says that in any partnership form of business, there should be at least minimum two-person, or there could be even more than two. Minimum at least two. But remember that they should be competent also. Competent in the sense that they should be of sound mind. They should be able to enter into any type of agreement or contract. That is a legal contract. Second point, partnership agreement or deed. It says that every deed of partnership must be either written or oral. Here one point should be remembered that according to Partnership Stamp Act 1889, it says that it should be a written agreement. Oral agreement does not have any proof. So in order to have a proof, all the partners must have a written agreement. But it's an optional part which is given. May or may not have a written agreement. Third point, legal business. Every partnership business which is formed must be legal. Illegal business do not have a place anywhere in the business world. So every business should be legal. Only legal business is identified in the eyes of law. Fourth point, sharing of profits or losses. According to partnership deed, the partners normally agree to share the profits and losses in a certain proportion. That may be 1:1, 2:1, or 1:2, depending upon the number of partners in a business. So they will be having an agreed ratio, a particular proportion, or you say a particular percentage in which the partners will be sharing the profits of a business. Fifth point, mutual agency. This is that every partner in the partnership form business is an agent to each other, which means that in the absence of one partner, the other partner has the freedom to take decision. So it is an understanding between the partners. The partners mutually take part in daily routine work, or the work may be carried on by one or more on behalf of other persons. Every partners are legally liable for the acts of all other partners, whether he is taking part in the activities of the firm or not. Means all will be legally bound by each other's decision. Next topic is rights of partners. Every partners in a business have certain rights. Let us see what they are. Number one, to conduct and manage the business. That means every partner has a right to carry out the business on a day-to-day basis. They have the right to manage, they have the right to take decisions for the business. Second point, to access to all books of accounts and records of the business. Access means every partner can look into all those accounts which are maintained in the partnership. Okay, what amount is coming into the business, what amount is going out of the business. Records means books of accounts. There are different type of books of accounts. We have already learned about different books like maintenance of a journal, preparing cash books, maintaining different ledgers, etc, etc, etc. So every partner has the right to see what is there in the books of accounts. Third point, to share profits or losses as agreed to in the partnership agreement. So partnership agreement mentions what will be the profit or loss sharing ratio among each partner. So at the end of every financial year, whatever the profit or loss is there in the partnership will be shared among the partners in the agreed ratio among the partners. Fourth point, to be the owner of the property of the partnership firm. Every partner, since every partner has already contributed certain amount of capital, which means they together own the property. That means every partner has a right to the property of the partnership firm. Fifth point, to get interest on loan at the rate given in the partnership deed or 6% as per law. The partners can advance a certain amount in the form of loan other than capital. So if any partner does that, they have a right to claim interest on the loan advanced to the partnership firm. So this could be in an agreed percentage, maybe 7%, maybe 5%, maybe 10%, 12%. It depends upon the agreement. But if no agreement exists, as per law, 6% per annum interest will be given to any partner who has advanced a certain amount to the partnership firm. Let us see what are the partnership deed. He says that it is a legal document. It contains all the terms and conditions which are agreed by all the partners in order to run the business of a firm. See, unless and until some agreement is done between the partners and that in writing, it will be difficult for a partnership firm to run. There could be disputes, disagreements if no written agreement exists. So in order to avoid the problems that may arise in the future, partners will always have a written agreement, but it is optional, not compulsory. As per Partnership Act 1932, is that agreement may be oral or written, but in order to avoid any confusions and any disputes in future, it is said that the partnership deed must be in written, in writing, and signed by the partners. Let us see what are the different deeds or the contents. There are 14 contents given over here. There are more contents, but only few are mentioned over here. Among these, few important points will be taken for accounting purpose as well. So number one, the first deed is that name and address of the firm, wherever the firm is, that has to be mentioned. Name and addresses of all partners, who are the partners and where they live. Nature of business, nature means what type of business the partners are going to start. Date of commencement of business, on the date when the business is going to be commenced, started. So starting date got to be mentioned. Duration of partnership, if it is for a particular period, limited period, maybe 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, the duration got to be mentioned. Amount of capital invested by each partner. So all partners don't invest equal amount. They may, one may invest 1 lakh, the other may invest 2 lakh, the third may invest 50,000. It depends. According to their own capacity, they may invest a particular amount. So whatever amount is invested, that will be mentioned in the deed. Profit sharing ratio among partners. This is very important. Profit, whatever may be the profit sharing ratio among all the partners, that may be equal or it may be in some any other agreed proportion. So that proportion got to be mentioned in the deed so that no dispute arises when the profit is shared at the end of the financial year. Next point, rate of interest on capital to partners. See, whatever capital a partner invests, on that partner has the right to claim for the interest on capital, provided that must be mentioned in the deed. The rate may be different, 5%, 6%, 8%, 12%, 10%, whatever it may be. It is an understanding between the partners which got to be written down in the deed. Next is rate of interest on drawings from partners. So during the year, partners may withdraw certain amount of money from the business in the form of drawings. So if a partner does that, the firm will charge certain amount of interest from the partners. So that amount got to be mentioned. The rate got to be mentioned, whatever the rates are. Next is rate of interest on loan of a partner. If suppose a partner advances certain amount in the form of loan, in that case, what will be the interest payable to the partner, that must be mentioned. If no rate of interest is mentioned on the loan, then as per law, minimum 6% per annum interest will be payable to the partner who has advanced certain amount in the form of loan to the partnership firm. Next point is any salary or commission payable to any partner. See, thereby the partners may do some extra work for the business. So in that case, if a partner gives extra time to manage the business, the partner may be allowed a certain amount in the form of salary or commission for the sale that that particular partner does. And if any salary or commission is payable, that amount also will be mentioned. Next is method of valuation of goodwill. Goodwill, which means reputation of a business. Now there are different methods of valuation. Now what are the method? We will learn these methods of valuation later. Now as per the deed, the method, what are the methods of valuation? That may be either average profit method, super profit method, or capitalization method. The method will have to be mentioned. 13 point, procedure for settlement of account in case of retirement, death, or dissolution of partnership. If any partner retires, or if any partner dies, or if the firm is dissolved altogether, so whatever the accounts of each partner is in the business, that got to be settled. Settled means they got to be paid off back to that particular partner who is either retiring, or if the partner is deceased, the executor of the deceased partner will be receiving the final settlement, or in case of dissolution, all the partners of the business will be receiving the final settlement, whatever belongs to the partner. And the last point is operation of bank account either jointly or individually. Here partnership got to open a bank account, and to operate the bank account, to deposit and withdraw money from the bank will always ask for a person, authorized person who will be signing the checks, etc. So it may be done by one single person, partner, or it can be done jointly by all the partners as well. Provision in the absence of a deed. I already told you that there should be some written agreement among the partners to avoid conflicts and disputes among them at the end of the year when they are going to share the profits of a business. So it is always good to have a deed in writing. But suppose there are no deed among the partners, the deed is silent or deed is absent. So there are certain provisions which will always govern the partners in the absence of a partnership deed. 5 points are given here, important points from accounting point of view. Number 1 is interest on capital. No interest on capital will be allowed to any partners if the deed is absent. Second point, interest on drawings. No interest on drawings will be charged from any partner for the drawings that they make during the year. Third point, interest on loan. Interest on loan will be allowed at the rate 6% per annum. This is as per law if the deed is silent. Fourth point, no salary or commission will be allowed to any partner even if they work 24 hours for the partnership firm. And the last point is profit sharing ratio. The profit sharing ratio will be equal among the partners irrespective of what capital they invest into a partnership business. So these are some of the important points that we saw. We will be continuing the remaining chapter in the next video. So learn thoroughly whatever is taught to you till now. Very important. If you really work hard, you will be able to score maximum mark in this chapter.